guys, this is Dr. Hill from Rayford Animal Wellness Clinic, or ROC, where pets aren't just cool, they rock. Hey, so I have done some emergency videos and I thought, wow, I can do this all in one. And it was like 20 minutes, which is way too long if you're watching a YouTube video, right? So I broke them all up. I got done thinking I was have three, and then I realized I missed vomiting. So I'm gonna make one more on vomiting. So is vomiting an emergency? We'll start with that question, and this is after the other ones I've done one, just so you know, on numbers to put in your phone. Okay, so information to have in your phone in an emergency. And I've done one on financial, to be prepared for that. And my last one had a bunch of things in it, to consider, hit by car, drowning, bleeding wounds, things like that. This one is just going to be vomiting, but you can go back and kind of evaluate those and see what you think. So for the vomiting, is it an emergency? It's so hard because it can be, but there are some things that you might be able to watch and would make me feel better about, we can maybe wait a day or two. And one is activity. The biggest thing, if we're vomiting, there's no blood, okay, and we're acting 100% fine, right? Good energy, then we can probably wait this out a little bit. There's a little stomach bug or whatever. And if we're just a little bit tired, but you're like, that's pretty normal, and we're doing some vomiting or diarrhea, maybe we can wait. 24 hours, I think, is reasonable if we're acting pretty darn good. Some things you can check, but again, even if we're not acting good, okay, that's another story. But some things you can check: gum color. So if the gums are nice and pink, that's a good thing. If they're pale, we could be possibly in shock or have some bleeding. So if the belly's getting bigger, we're doing any vomiting, and color's bad. Basically, if the belly's getting bigger, it's an emergency. Just come on in. But yeah, if the color is really good. Now, if the color looks bluish, we're not breathing well. Okay, that's an emergency as well. Like, that's the reason, right? Get in. But if everything else is totally fine, gum color's good, and they're acting fine, I think a 24-hour period of kind of monitoring and is reasonable. Now, the reason vomiting can be an emergency is they could have pancreatitis, which could be very severe. They could have gastric dilatation volvulus, which is GDV. That is where the stomach flips. You guys with big dogs know this. So usually you think of it in like your Great Dane or something like that, but it can happen in any breed. The stomach flips, fills with air, and it actually starts to cause pressure problems, and they can die because of the pressure and the stomach getting so big. So also, say they have a foreign body in there, especially strings or something sharp, it can actually go through the intestines or stomach, puncture, and now you have toxins just hanging out in your abdomen, which can be deadly. And then, there are other conditions like kidney disease or a liver disease. And so again, watch the gums. If they're yellow, we've got liver disease. This is, you got to get this kid in quickly. These things can get so we can't really treat them very quickly. So vomiting is can just vary in so much that it could mean, and usually it's just tummy upset, like with us, again, a little virus, a little something, no big deal. But especially if there's blood in the vomit and we're the emergency, and then we're acting sick, I'm much more concerned, and I very quickly want to see these guys. So, another thing to think about, there's absolutely no bowel movement. So maybe we have diarrhea. Okay, something's moving through, but maybe there's nothing because nothing's moving through. All these things to me could mean this is a big deal. This is a big deal. I want you to get this kiddo in and let's check it out and just make sure there's not more going on. Pain, a very painful abdomen means it's an emergency. Those can very quickly become life-threatening. So if you're seeing any of those things, I want to see your kiddo as quickly as possible. So hopefully this helps. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon.